Okay, The Act, episode 3. I'm enjoying this show. The year is 2011, and Dee Dee is collecting funds. She got this Ziploc bag, honey, full of ducats, monies, and she's opening letters, and it's just a bunch of white people mailing money saying, you know, "Ooh, I'm sending you this money to get this off my conscience." I've been thinking about Gypsy ever since I saw her on Oprah or whatever, you know, on TV. And the story disturbed me. Your child is just so sick. Here's $5. Like, you know, pre-GoFundMe. Gypsy is on the YouTube. Wait a minute. Yeah, she's on the YouTube looking up kissing. How to kiss. I'm like, girl, she is in heat. Our niece is in heat. She's swinging her feet. Every time I see those feet move, I'm just taken aback. I'm just like, oh yeah, she ain't sick. Like every single time I see her feet move, I'm like, oh my God, a miracle. But no, she just wasn't sick. There's this function, this event that Shelly goes to. It's a cosplay event. It's like a Comic-Con or something like that. And Gypsy wants to go. So she's again up on her feet, and I'm just marveling at this miracle for a quick second. Then I'm like, oh no, yeah, no. But she's up getting dressed. She's got her, you know, Belle outfit on, giving, you know, Beauty and the Beast. And, you know, she's got the wig and she's getting ready to go. And for some reason, Dee Dee makes her change into Cinderella. And well, it was like she was dressed as Belle, giving you, you know, tale as old as time, Beauty and the Beast, all of that. And she says, "Mom, can I call Lacey to come do my makeup?" And Dee Dee was just like, no. As a matter of fact, take all that off and go with Cinderella. And I'm like, what's the difference? She still want to be makeup. She wants to be beat as Cinderella as well. I don't understand. But Dee Dee's like, just go take all that off and put on your Cinderella. And I'm just like, I don't get it, but okay. Now she has on this blonde wig. It was much worse. She did not look as cute as she did when she was Belle, but whatever. They go to the Comic-Con or the cosplay event, and the woman says, you know, how many tickets or whatever, and Dee Dee says, you know, 1 adult and 1 child, and she was born in 1995. She's 15. And I'm sitting here thinking, no, because Jip is older than I am, and I was 16 in 2011, so what? Like, I'm counting. Jip is also counting. She's like, no, wait a minute, 95, 96, 97, 98. And then she turns to her mom after the woman gives her a ticket, and she's like, well, she looks like she's under 12, because the kids get in like half price or free, I couldn't remember, up until the age of like 12 or whatever. So she's like, she looks like she's under 12, so we just gonna make this our little secret. And Dee Dee, ever gracious, oh, thank you. Girl. Anyway, so she's pushing Jip away, and Jip turns back and is like, but I thought you said I was born in 1993. And she's like, oh, you know, ever since I had that car accident, my mind, I'm not strong in my mind. I forget things. And, you know, last time we were at the doctor, I took a peek at your chart and it said 95. So I'm so sorry that I told you 93. I'm so sorry. And Jip is still like 96, 97. She's just trying to figure it out, as was I. Because I was like, no, I think she was born in 92. Like, I'm sitting there counting me and Gypsy both. We sitting there like, now, if I remember correctly, I think she was born in 92. Shelly pops up, and she is, I don't remember who she said she was, honey, but it was robotic, whoever it was. And her man, I guess this guy was this, I don't know, he looked like a stormtrooper of some, look, I understand certain cosplays, Sailor Moon, Harry Potter. Once you start getting into the animes, you lose me, because they all look very similar to me. I know Sailor Moon is anime, but still, like, it's very distinct characters. I understand Cinderella, Beauty, you know, I understand. But even Wolverine, like, I get that. Mystique, I think, is one of the girls. She's blue, if I'm remembering correctly. That kind of thing. Avatar. And Avatar: The Last Airbender, because there are 2. You know, very distinct characters. I understand, but I didn't know who them 2 were. I had no idea. But they're talking and having a good time, introducing each other to, you know, each other and all of this. And Dee Dee reminds us that she was a beauty queen back in the day. And I said, now, Patricia Arquette is doing a wonderful Dee Dee Blanchard. She's doing a fantastic Dee Dee Blanchard, but she's also doing a very fictionalized version of what Dee Dee Blanchard looked like, because Dee Dee was not a cute gal. Now, I don't want to be rude and say that maybe she was a beauty queen in the neighborhood and she was just the cutest girl in the neighborhood, because y'all just Google Dee Dee Blanchard, you know, the real one, and yeah, beauty queen seems like a leap. But she says she used to be one of the pageant girls. Y'all know how I feel about pageants. If you watch a couple of my other reviews, I just despise pageantry. I hate it. But she says, you know, she was a pageant girl. Shelly says, oh, I too was a pageant girl. I say, okay. I don't know what Shelly looked like IRL either, but this Shelly doesn't seem pageant like either. Not even based on her looks, but just her demeanor just doesn't give me pageant. Because once you're a pageant girl, you're very, you know, whatever this is, you're very that for like ever. It's gross. It's so gross. You're fake for the rest of your life, I feel like. But anyway, no shade if you're a pageant queen out there. No shade. I just don't like pageants. I just don't. But Shelly says, I was a pageant girl too. What was your talent? Dee Dee says, yodeling. I said, in New Orleans? Like, all right. You know, I'm a fan of yodeling. I love folk music and yodelation and holleration in the dancery. Personally, I love it. My brother going to work, bless his heart. I don't know why I'm blessing his heart, but bless his heart. Bless everybody's heart, honestly. I don't know. Because it sounded shady when I said it, but I didn't mean it in a shady way. But you know when I get in my shady mode. Anywho, the yodeling caught me very off guard, but she gave, you know, a little yodel-hee-hoo. And Wolverine came up, and you'll have to forgive me because I've never seen an X-Men. I've never seen any of the movies. I've never seen Logan. I am unfamiliar with the X-Men. I have to be honest and say I've never seen an Avengers movie either, but if I were going to see a group of superheroes, it would be Marvel over DC, because DC just don't, it doesn't resonate with me, except Wonder Woman. That's not y'all's business. Moving on. Uncle Daddy from Claus is playing this Wolverine, and he comes up and he's like, did somebody call me? And I'm like, no, nobody called you. And he introduces himself to Dee Dee. I can't remember what he said his name. Oh, it's Russ. And they kind of hit it off, but Dee Dee is also like not interested. She's interested, but not interested. Kind of like me in relationships. It's like, I want you, but I don't want you all at once. All at once. That's why I be alone. She rushes off to the bathroom at some point. I forgot to mention that before the function, Gyp did Dee Dee's makeup, and I'm like, well, why can't Gyp have a little piece? The girl 28 years old. Like, God, we don't know how old the girl is at this point, but can she have just a dash of eyeshadow just to complete the look? Anyway, I guess Dee Dee said, you got your teeth and that's enough. You have your teeth. That's the best we can do for you today. We're not gonna get you all gussied up so you can attract the attention of a man and leave me. We'll get there. So Dee Dee rushes off to the bathroom. Shelly says she's gonna watch Gyp, but then she, like, her boyfriend's character makes children cry, so she has to be the buffer between the character and the children. And I'm just like, why would you dress as something that makes children cry at an event where children will be? So she has to run off to take care of one of the crying children, leaving Gyp to her own devices. She meets another Wolverine. You know, she's just wheeling along looking at things, and she sees, was it a wig or something she saw? Anyway, she goes over to a booth, and they have wigs and, you know, cosplay paraphernalia. And there's a guy dressed as Wolverine talking to a woman who was Green Girl. I don't know who she was. She looked like she was one of Zoe Saldana's characters. I try not to watch Zoe Saldana movies, if I'm being honest. I support black businesses, and she said she wasn't black. Oh, I'm in a mood today. But the girl Gypsy goes over and she's like, you know, oh, I love Wolverine. And he's like, oh, well, awesome. So great to hear. You know, Wolverine has a girlfriend named Jean Grey, and she had no idea. And I'm like, you You can't just walk up to a man dressed as Wolverine and say you love Wolverine and you're not really ready to have a conversation about Wolverine. At some point at this booth, the green lady she was looking at shoes, and she says, oh, well, do you have these in a size 4? And the woman was like, no, sweetie, but we do have this exact shoe in the children's sizes. For some reason, Jip didn't want to look at the children. Now, I shop in the children's foot department myself. Me and my mother, we go right over there and get our children's shoes for cheaper prices. I didn't understand why, when the woman said it was the exact same print of shoe, just in the children's sizes, why she couldn't just, but she decided she didn't have enough money. I don't have enough money for that. So then she looks at the red wig on the stand before them, and I think this is when the Wolverine known as Scott, because there's the Wolverine known as Russ and the Wolverine known as Scott. Scott Vereen, no relation to Ben, says, you know, something about Jean Grey being a redhead or whatever. And the lady behind the counter is like, well, do you want to try on this red wig? And Jip is like, I don't have enough money for that either. And I'm just like, well, girl, why are you here? Like, what is going on? And then the green lady's like, oh, I know just the thing. Because she tried to talk her into being Ariel because, you know, to her naked eye, Gypsy can't walk. You know, we all know Gypsy just be taking leisurely strolls and going on about her day. But, you know, when you see somebody in a wheelchair, you assume that they either cannot walk indefinitely or they are having difficulty walking today. So the woman tried to convince her to be Ariel. When Jip said she didn't have enough money for the thing, she went behind, you know, the screen or whatever and came back with a little flounder. It wasn't the flounder from the Little Mermaid. This one was green, and flounder in the Little Mermaid is yellow and blue. So I was like, she's like, here you go, a flounder on the house. And Jip is like, girl, I mean, I guess I know I look like I'm 10 and a half, so thank you, but I'm 38 and I'm sick of it. Like, she's so tired of being babied. She really is, and I feel for her. So she and Scott get to walking around. They see the DeLorean from Back to the Future, which something else I've never seen. It never came on ABC Family, so I just didn't see it. Because that's where I got to watch all my old movies. She's like, oh my goodness, look at that. Have you ever seen anything like it? And he's like, yeah, girl, it's the DeLorean. Like, everybody has seen it. She hasn't, so I guess he gets to experience her wonderment and seeing this car with this, you know, the butterfly doors, the doors that go up, like Steve Harvey at a Greek party. Who allows me? Whatever. Anyway, if you're white and you're watching, it doesn't matter. You still won't get it. Oh God. Anywho, in the meantime, while they're looking at the DeLorean, or getting ready to get in line for the DeLorean, Dee Dee is in the bathroom, and Dee Dee takes a dry paper towel and just does one of these, and her makeup is gone. And I'm like, what kind of Neutrogena makeup wipes Kerry Washington advertisement is this? You know, Kerry Washington be on the Neutrogena makeup wipe commercials like, yes, and you can remove 99% of your makeup with one wipe. Like, amazing. Dee Dee has done her one better and got dry paper towels at the public bathroom and removed 100% of her makeup. I was like, I never. I have to scrub and coconut oil and get all back behind it. She just boop, boop, and it was gone. It was gone. Meanwhile, back at the DeLorean, they see Gypsy and they let her cut in line and get up to the DeLorean. Scott picks her up and places her ever so tenderly in the car, and you hear this romantic music and it goes in slow-mo, and I guess this is the moment that they have fallen in love. And they take a picture, and, you know, on the count of 3, everybody say DeLorean. 1, 2, 3, DeLorean. And it's just like, girl, okay, she's excited, so I'm happy for her. Back in 2015, we jump back to the night of the murder. Mel, Shelly, and Lacey are sitting on the porch, looking across at the crime scene. And Shelly makes mention that one night, 4 years ago, Dee Dee called about some guy. She don't know who the guy is. Dee Dee called her about some guy in the middle of the night. And Mel is like, well, who's the guy? What happened? Blah, blah, blah. And Shelly is like, girl, that was years ago. I don't know. It was years ago and the middle of the night. I don't know. But now they're kind of having a little bit of an argument. And it's like, well, Mel, come on now. It was years ago in the middle of the night. Like, cut a little bit of, a little bit slack. Anyway, back in 2011, we see Gyp and Scott Wolverine, you know, wheeling through the event or whatever. And she makes a joke about using the Wolverine claws to slash her mama. And I'm like, oh, all right, we starting off years prior. All right. Okay. Ugh. Like it made me upset. I was like, ooh, God, I've never said that. But I've also never killed my mother. Still haven't. To this day. To this day, I have never killed my mama. Ever. Let's see. Uncle Daddy comes back to speak to Dee Dee, apologizes for kind of spooking her, and says that he was in a similar situation to Dee Dee. He had a sick son. His son was in a wheelchair by the end, and he passed away, and yada yada blah blah blah. You know, the my condolences, and also we are similar kind of thing. And Dee Dee is just like, oh, you know, that's her immediate reaction to everything is, oh. Like, how Cajun of you. Moving along, we get back to the house. I guess this is the next day, and Gyp asks her mom how she met her dad, and Dee Dee is just like, oh, we were just a couple of crazy kids on the bayou. And I'm like, now with the knowledge that I have, and I don't know if it's gonna be brought up in this show or not, but with the knowledge that I have, when Gypsy Rose Blanchard was born, Dee Dee Blanchard was 24 years old, the age I am now. And Daddy Blanchard, because I can't remember his name right now, was 17 years old, the age that I was 7 years ago. 8 years, really, because I will be 25 in a mere 2 weeks. I think 2. I don't know. Who cares? Y'all were not a couple of crazy kids at the same time on the bayou. I'm sorry. No. You were a child molester on the bayou. I could possibly never date somebody. I can't date an 18-year-old at the tender age of 25. No. Gross. That is a boy. As Papa Pope said on Scandal, you are a boy. That is a boy. They don't know how to clean good yet. Like, the youngest person I've ever dated was born literally the day I was born. Couple hours after me. Like, literally the day and the year I was born, just a few mere hours after me. Youngest person I've ever dated. Because listen, they are children. Anyway, at some point, child, Gypsy is back on this Hewlett-Packard laptop looking up pictures of Wolverine and Jean, is it Jean Grey? I don't remember, girl. I don't remember. And sees pictures of them kissing. Now she getting ideas all in her head, because again, this girl is in heat. She then signs up for her own individual Facebook because Scott had asked her, like, what's your Facebook? And she's like, I don't have one. She told Scott she was 18. And he's like, you're 18 and you don't have a Facebook? She wasn't very far off because she was 17. But he's like, I don't have. I don't have. Or what she said? She had to be 17. Who cares, girl? Who cares? No, she couldn't have been 17 because I was 17 going into my 17th year. Was I? I don't remember. It don't matter. The point is, she didn't have her own Facebook. So she's signing up for one now. Honey, she gets back up on those feet. She gets up, she walks over to her mama's purse and looks at her birth certificate, or either her birth certificate card or her social security card. Whichever one has her name and her date of birth. And the year was 1991. So she's 19. Yeah, 19. Which means she's far old enough, well old enough, because back in those days you had to be 14 to sign up for a Facebook page. I don't know how old you got to be now. Probably 10, the way the world is now. She reaches down and steals some money out of her mother's nest egg little Ziploc bag. And then next thing we know, we see them at the gas station. Gyp is going in to get her mama an iced tea. So Southern. We love iced tea. I was at the store last night like, oh, should I get an iced tea or should I just drink water? I went ahead and drank water. But I stood there in the iced tea aisle for quite a while like, I could get this one. I haven't had an Arizona in quite a while. Like, I was weighing my options and I was like, nah, I'm just drink water. But she goes on into the gas station, pays for the gas, pays for the tea, and she also buys a burner phone. And she looking all behind her, and I'm like, girl, don't get caught. Don't let your mama see you with this phone. Then we swoop over to the evening time. Russ calls her on the phone and is whispering sweet nothings, child. I don't know. I didn't care. I really didn't. I keep hearing like snapping, crackling, and popping. Whatever. Jip texts Scott. I'm trying to figure out how she got his phone number, but she texts, I guess maybe she asked around. I don't know. But she texts Scott and is like, hi, it's Gypsy from, Cinderella from the cosplay event. And, they're texting. And then we see her like at the hospital or at an event. I don't remember. But I think she was at the hospital. And she has on an oxygen tank. And very much like last episode when I saw her with those hearing aids, I said, since when? Since when did she need oxygen? The girl is not sick. Every time I see her with something new, I'm just baffled. I'm just baffled. And while I'm on the subject of baffled, can y'all please stop saying behooved when you mean to say baffled? Behooved means for your betterment. When you say it would behoove you to do something, that means it would be on your best behalf to do this thing. When you say what behooved me, that's not what you're trying to say. What you're trying to say is what baffles me. Baffles. I hear it way too much, and I just got to address it right now. I just have to address it. Oh, y'all know I play a lot with language, but I need y'all to know the words. And behooved does not mean baffled. It's not interchangeable. Just like apart and a part, not the same. As a matter of fact, never mind. This is not English. We're not in English. But I want y'all to stop saying behooved in lieu of baffled. I do want that. Scott texts her and lets her know that he's a surgeon. I said, sir, I know you look like you 35 years old and established, but a surgeon you do not look like. You're not clean enough to be a surgeon. You have to genuinely be a very clean individual. You almost have to be metrosexual as a man to be a surgeon. You have to be very manicured. Your nails have to be clean. Your hair has to be clean. You have to be very streamlined to be a practicing surgeon. You do. And you don't have that look. And Gypsy Rose, who I presume has had many a surgery, should know that. But maybe she's blinded by love. She gets a package in the mail. She intercepts the mail, so her mama don't see that she got a package. It's that red wig. I'm like, does Dee Dee just not go through Gyp's things? Does she just not? How you got a whole cell phone and a wig that your mama ain't see you buy? I don't know. You so in bondage, but your mama don't go through your things. I feel like we could have formulated a plan without killing her, but then I also feel like she had to be killed. I don't know yet. I don't know. But if the girl ain't going through this child's things, we could have made an escape plan probably that didn't have to do with killing her. But I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe she had to kill her for her peace of mind that the woman wasn't going to come back and get her. I don't know. Dee Dee and Uncle Daddy are still courting. They still courting her. I don't know. But he says, I really want to get closer to you and I can help you with your daughter. And the moment he said that, it was over. Can't let nobody get close like that now. You can't help me with my daughter. I'm trying to kill her. I'm making her sick on purpose. You can't get all up in my tea. You can't be a part of this. You gonna call the police and then I'm going to jail. Period. No. In my Gypsy Rose voice. My Dee Dee Blanchard voice. Like, no. Yeah, I know. She hangs up like Peppa Pig did when she found out that Susie could whistle. She said, click, like, enough. Help me with my daughter? Enough. Enough. I don't, let's see. Lacey walks up on Gypsy while she on the porch texting. I'm like, girl, out in broad daylight like this? Okay. And Lacey's like, hey, girl, what's tea? And Gypsy's like, can you keep a secret? I'm like, oh, she's so cute, y'all. She's adorable. And Lacey's like, yeah, girl, I can keep a secret. What's tea? Let me get my ear out of my bonnet so I can hear you. And Gyp is like, I have the secret Facebook and I met my Prince Charming and he swept me up off my feet and Lacey's just like, really? Oh, okay. But she looks concerned. And I'm like, well, you have right to be concerned. You have right to be. And Gypsy's like, you promise you won't tell anybody, right? It's a secret. Lacey's like, yeah, girl, I won't tell nobody. And Gypsy's like, we have a secret. And I'm like, Jib, she's adorable. At some point she was like, you know, he's gonna take me far away from here to a magical place like Arkansas. And I'm sitting here like, magical place like Arkansas. Oh, Jib. Oh, I got some news. I've got terrible news. I've got some really bad. If you weren't already sitting, I would tell you to sit down. Magical place like Arkansas. Oof. Baby, you may as well go back to the bayou because it's just not it. She tells Lacey she gonna be the maid of honor at the wedding. I'm like, girl, I wonder if when Jip gets out of jail, if she gonna still have his wedding and Lacey's still gonna be the maid of honor, because what it looks like today, it's not going that way. Scott texts Jip maybe later on that night, maybe another night, I don't know, and says he's had a long day and he's at the ER. And his phone is dying. She gets back on the Hewlett-Packard laptop, looks up taxi phone numbers, gets some more money out of her mama's Ziploc bag, puts on her red wig, and, you know, a little black coat, kind of a trench coaty little number, an Olivia Pope Scandal-esque coat with this red wig, and she pumps it on down to the hospital on her legs. Mama two-stepped down to the hospital boots. Like, y'all ain't heard me say boots in quite a while. Girl was walking, and I know she can walk, but every time she was walking, her hair was flowing behind her. She was just like in the hospital stepping in the name of love. I was like, what's going? You are outside tiptoeing across the linoleum floor of this hospital as if, girl, the girls don't know you you be at the hospital all the time. Girl, they was looking, but they weren't paying attention because, you know, that can't be Gypsy Rose. Gypsy Rose is bald-headed and can't walk. And again, I make these jokes because she's not really sick. Girl, she got over to the emergency room and pulled back the curtain, and Scott was like, hello, ma'am. She was like, Scott, it's me. He was like, me who? Me whom? I don't know a me. I'm unsure. Me who? She's like, it's Gypsy. He like, He looked at her like, wait a minute. You are on legs. You're on legs. Gypsy she can't walk. She's like, oh, I can walk. Like, girl, what? You can do who? What? Like, she said it as if he was silly for being shocked that she was on her feet. I can walk. If you don't get back in the chair. Like Dee Dee said, first episode, get in the bed. Get in the bed. What are you doing on these feet? I have never been more just shocked by something I already knew. Never in my life. As a southerner would say, in all my days, I never. I was just as shocked as Scott was. Child, she's like, I can walk, but don't tell anyone. Like, I got to tell everybody the goodness of Jesus. This girl is up. Child, anyway, let me see. Dee Dee wakes up, looks over, sees Jip ain't in the bed, sees that the wheelchair is over there. She's like, Lord, this girl, she up on her feet. She walk around the house real quick, takes a quick peek. Because like I said, the house ain't that big. Takes a look around. And this girl ain't in the house. So now she calls Shelly, and this is where the phone call comes in. And she's like asking Shelly about Wolverine. And no, not that Wolverine, the other Wolverine. I need his information. Apparently Shelly got the man address. And I'm like, or maybe she has his name and his address is in the phone book. But I understand it was years ago, but I would remember that conversation. So I was really confused at why Shelly didn't remember the conversation, but whatever, child. She finds a note from Gypsy. I forgot about that. She found a note from Gypsy that's like, dear mom, in this like chicken scratch kitty handwriting. Dear mom, I'm running away to be with my Prince Charming. Love your 19 underline year old daughter, Gypsy Rose. It's like, oh, she got bold with the underline. 19 underline. Like, she wants you to know that she knows that she's 19. And that's when Dee Dee calls Shelly, gets the information and all of that. We see Jip and Scott walking into Scott's house. Scott's brother or uncle or roommate, I don't know, it's another man in there. He looks, sees them, and it's just like, and goes back to bed. I'm like, I don't even know the point of showing him, but okay. Gypsy is like, dance with me. Like, first of all, I just found out Lieutenant Dan got legs. I don't want to dance with you. I just want to sit here. My nose is broken. I'm going through a lot, trying to figure out you. Like, it's so much happening. He basically says that there's no music. We don't need any music. Just dance with me. I'm like, okay. Don't be so quick to walk away. Dance with me. Come on, Justin Timberlake. I need to go to bed, y'all. I've been up all day. Dee Dee comes a knocking, honey, on the door. And Scott opens the door, sees Gypsy with this little harlot red wig on, up on her feet, girl. And Dee Dee is like, come home, Gypsy, come home. Gypsy's like, no. And I am telling you, I'm not going. I got legs, I can walk. I'm gonna stay here with Scott. Darling, there's no way. No way. I'm going back with you. I'm not going back with you. Anyway, and Dee Dee is giving very, come home. Come home. Oh, there go my ride. I gotta get out of here and get dressed. Supposed to be going to my grandparents' house for Mother's Day dinner. I'm going for the Wi-Fi and the food. Period. But yeah, Gypsy is like, I love him, and Dee Dee is like, I know you do. I'm not gonna make you stop seeing your friend. Just come on home. And Gypsy's like, okay. And she goes. I'm like, girl, that's why she had to die, because she was gonna keep finding her, keep making her come on home. I don't want her to have had to die, but I feel like she had to die. But then I feel like we could have come up with a way where she didn't have to die. I just don't know. And Jip gets in the car and they get on home. Jip got her hand on the handle like, let me get on out. And Dee Dee is like, excuse me, to the back, the chair. Girl, you're still crippled. What? The neighbors, honey, the neighbors. So Jip begrudgingly gets in the back, gets in the chair, wheels herself on out the van and goes into the house. And before she left Scott's house, they was making out. It was so nice. I guess she had her first kiss or whatever. But Dee Dee also said, I don't know what you're thinking, but she's 14. I'm like, now she's 14? Girl, she was born in 96 now? What is T? What's T? And the funniest scene of the entire show, because it ends with her wheeling back into the house, but the funniest scene of the entire show, and I need a gif of it just for my personal life, is when they're in the van and Dee Dee reaches over and snatches that red wig off of Gypsy's bald head. Just snatched. And again, I'm laughing because she's not sick, but honey, the wig just boop, and it was over. Anyway, that was episode 3. I haven't watched 4 through 8, so I'm gonna watch that and I'm gonna bring it to you because I'm enjoying. I'm having a good time. Like, comment, subscribe, and all the things the YouTube is saying. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.